Hello, everyone. I'm Sharon with Entelechy Visions, and welcome to a topic that I wanted to discuss here today. You may find that you are moving through this personally, either in the weeks ahead or in the months ahead. I wanted to provide some tips here for how to navigate any dynamics that you may find yourself in related to interacting with others and their political views. Providing you some tips here of how to either de-escalate from feeling triggered, to not get sucked into certain conversations, to hold strong boundaries for yourself, and to feel calm and stable as we move through this political landscape in the weeks and months ahead. Just to note here, we aren't touching upon political viewpoints in this video. We are more providing tools of how you personally can navigate your journey with all of that. So first and foremost, I want to share here that we are in a very heightened time. And as we get closer to this inevitable political shift for us here in the country, that things may get more heated. And you may already be seeing that escalating, whether that is with people in your life, that you're having more conversations about it, with family members. You may find that there's more interactions with it online, on social media. And so it'll be really helpful to understand how to maintain a sense of stability and balance within the fray of all of that. Because what are beliefs ultimately? What are political views? They are coming from a place of an individualized perspective. So if you can view it from a vantage point of your higher self, of your expanded consciousness state, with a neutral perspective, we can see that any kind of beliefs that any one person holds is simply stemming from their upbringing. It is stemming from conditioning, stemming from anything that has shaped them individually as a person, whether that is through their life experiences, whether that is beliefs that have been imposed upon them from other people, the places that they have grown up, the culture, the society, even the town that they were raised in, or maybe it is religious beliefs that were imposed upon them or chosen. So many things have shaped each individual person to not only choose what they are believing in, but to allow them to be drawn to a certain resonance within the political viewpoint. And some people may be in between. They may feel uncertain about what they do believe in, or swayed by different things, not really certain of what their take is on something, or not informed about certain things. There are so many aspects of what shapes a person and their beliefs. So this is a good viewpoint to have as we move through these next several weeks and months ahead, to understand that each person has been shaped around all of these pieces from their life. And it doesn't make something wrong or right on that level, if we can view it from that higher standpoint. Our personality self will view things as that black and white or wrong or right view. But our soul sees that there is an entire intricate map that shapes someone and what they are drawn to. So with that being said, I want to touch on different scenarios that you may encounter for yourself or that you've already moved through, and tips that can assist you if you're finding yourself facing this. So if you are in a situation where someone is confronting you with an opposing belief to your own belief system around the political landscape, and maybe you're feeling triggered, you are feeling as though you have something you want to say, you are not agreeing with that person, and this quality, this energy comes up in the conversation, this dynamic that feels very confronting, feels maybe defensive, as though something is bubbling up within you and you feel this need to want to defend yourself and your beliefs of how you're seeing things. And that can be really common as we are moving through these times, especially with family. If you find that you have very different views as your family, and there can be this complicated dynamic of you maybe have these very loving and accepting and welcoming connection with your family, that you truly love them beneath that, but the views surrounding their beliefs are opposing. And so there's love present, but then there's this opposition of the beliefs between the two of you grating upon one another. So in those instances, here are a couple tips that can help to move through that. If that bubbling up of the defensiveness is arising within you and you are feeling triggered, that is an active energy and emotion that is building in your energy field. In that moment, before you react and you say something that is a byproduct of the energy and emotion that's coming up within you, it may be something that you regret later on, or it's causing more tension in the conversation, something that's not necessary to share, but just fueling that defensive aggression. Take a pause as you're noticing that bubbling up within you. Allow your breath to deepen. Take some deep, long breaths. And if you can, there is a wonderful breath for those moments. Inhale to a count of 8. Hold it for a count of 4, and exhale for a count of 8, and hold that for a count of 4. And this can be done while you are in a conversation with someone. They don't necessarily need to know that you're doing that. And that is going to soften the energy and emotional response of triggering that you're moving through. And it will also allow you to pause before you react, to bring a sense of awareness back to your body and back to a rational space. So as you're doing this breath, and maybe the conversation is still going on and you are maybe still feeling triggered, that is a good time to also check in with yourself and ask yourself, what is kind in this moment? What is a response that is kind and mindful, even if you are feeling triggered? And that will allow you to respond from a place of more awareness and mastery. If the person is becoming aggressive with you and they are trying to impose their beliefs upon you in a very aggressive way, that is a sign that it's a good time to set some boundaries. Because there's nothing that can truly be had from one person trying to convince another person to come over to their side of the belief. That we each hold our own viewpoints for a reason, and that it's okay to believe in what you believe in. And there's no need to convince or recruit another person to come on to your side. because there won't necessarily be a win-win situation with that. Those people are resonating with their beliefs for a certain reason. They are holding energies, emotions, and many different patterns within themselves that is resonating with that certain belief structure that they are very passionate about. And it would take an enormous amount of restructuring in their entire energetic body, in their emotional state, and in their mind to flip the switch and have them believe in something completely different. So keep in mind, if there is an energy of trying or wanting to recruit someone to your side of the fence, it won't be a win-win situation, because there's so much else that's taking place beneath the surface that is shaping all of that. So remember the purpose of conversations and why that is happening. So if you do find someone is trying to recruit you onto their side of the fence, the boundary setting, as I mentioned, is needed. And in that case, you can agree with those people if this is something that keeps coming up, say it's a family dynamic or otherwise, you can state to them, I do not want to discuss political views with you. And it's okay to say that, because if you know it is a topic that riles both of you and that there is no calm solution to that dynamic or that conversation, it's okay to avoid the topic completely in that relationship. And so those boundaries are also a way to allow you to have peace of mind when you are interacting with these people. And that boundary is to set your own sense of calm, to support your nervous system. If these are people or a person, whether that is online or an acquaintance, coworker, or anyone that you interact with, and you're having a similar discomfort or triggering in a conversation around political views, a boundary that could be set is you take a breath, you do that deep breathing, and if it's still continuing, you say, I'm sorry, I need to step away for a moment. And allow yourself to walk away. Allow yourself to give room for that space and know that it's okay to not be engaged in something that is going to rile you. And that's also a boundary for your sense of peace and your nervous system. Another way that you can confront it, that if you find yourself in a situation where it's challenging to walk away for whatever reason, you can hold a viewpoint of divine neutrality. And what do I mean by that? You can zoom up to the perspective of your higher self, and if it helps, you can even envision connecting your awareness to about a foot above your head, which is where your higher self resides. And you can ask internally in your inner dialogue, I now ask my higher self to fully merge with me. Your higher self will get the cue as you make that request and merge with your personality self and give you that perspective of finding a neutral awareness around what is taking place in the conversation. So if you aren't able to step away for whatever reason, keep a neutral perspective. So that will help to ease any triggers. And neutrality is simply not feeling fueled by that need to prove something. Not feeling fueled by that need to recruit someone. to your side of the fence, but simply holding a calm and rooted container that whatever they are expressing is okay. It may not be what you believe in, and it may be something that irks you and does not feel good or sit right with you. But that neutral space is allowing them to share anything that they're feeling. And you're holding a container for it's okay to feel how you are feeling, but we don't have to fuel this conversation to recruit one another to each other's side. And sometimes that can mean simply responding with simple phrases of, okay, I understand. Being calm about your responses and just allowing them to express, but you're not engaging in a trigger with them. And that's a neutral space. So another couple practices that I want to share here is that if you are finding yourself engaged with someone who is triggering you, it's important to also ground your energy in that space. And you can even say that to yourself as you are interacting with that person. By the power of my I am presence, and that is cueing to your higher self to support you, I now ask to be 100% grounded and connected to the earth plane. And that is something you can say inside. They don't even need to know that you're saying that, but you are cueing to your higher self to now root your energy into the planet and to become a stabilizing force in your own energetic space. And that makes it easier to be less swayed by whatever is being presented to you from this conversation or that other person. You can also do that while you are engaging with anyone in any other kind of way, whether that is on social media, online, on the phone, or even texting. And that leads to the next point. As we move through these next few months, be very mindful of what you are consuming, what you are engaging in. That there can be so much that's getting dumped and also prophesized on social media, online, and even the media, that it's important to remember the space of your mental field, and that everything that you consume and you engage in is now being interacted with your energetic body. So use discretion. Be very mindful of how much you're taking in, what you are consuming, what you are engaging in. If you are feeling judgmental around people that you know online, maybe they are friends, and I use that in quotes because friends are a relative term on social media. If you're seeing that in your friends on that type of platform, and you're feeling this judgment towards them of their beliefs and how they are sharing, it's a good practice to maybe step away for a minute and just let yourself breathe. Give some space for your consumption and what you are bringing into your mental space. And in that rhythm as well, you can also practice that divine neutrality with those moments. If you are feeling judgmental towards a friend online, to come back to that space that they have a purpose for their own belief structure and where they are connected to and how they were raised within that. So another tip that I want to finalize here with is it will be very important, almost a priority, to really cultivate practices for yourself that are very calming as we move through this political landscape these next several months. Our nervous systems may feel very lit up right now because there's so much happening and there's so much information and energy and things flying around. And not just on a political standpoint. We have moved through enormous energetic shifts over this entire summer. So it is very important for your body to catch up to everything, to carve out spaces for yourself to be quiet, to give yourself the space to calm down, to allow your nervous system moments to really recalibrate, because there is so much fray. And it is up to you to really cultivate those spaces for yourself. And if you have little kiddos and maybe a lot of busyness at work and those pockets of quiet are challenging for you, it is even more so important to cultivate those. And it could just be 5 to 10 minutes at the end of the day when you are readying for sleep. And maybe you put down your phone much sooner in the evening and you are lessening your screen time. You are turning to maybe some meditation, some calming breathing practices, pranayama. Maybe you are turning to some bath time, some sea salt baths that will really calm your system and allow yourself to decompress from the day. To turn to some more calming tips, you can find a variety of playlists that I have here on my channel for some additional tips, such as the nervous system support playlist, meditations on here, and also some binaural beats and music tracks on here as well. We will move through these times with as much grace and ease as possible, and if we aren't, we do have tools that we can turn to help us all through this. So I hope that you found this helpful to apply to your own life, and I thank you so much for listening. I'll be back again here soon. Take care.